When a fire alarm triggers, an everyday workspace instantly becomes a disorienting, high-stress environment. Navigating this safely requires abandoning instinct and following a methodical procedure. Canadian and Ontario fire codes mandate this specific evacuation process, requiring that designated supervisory staff are trained to coordinate the movement of occupants during an emergency. Take a look at this standard office layout. Before an alarm sounds, you must identify 3 things: your assigned zone boundary, the locations of your primary and secondary exit stairwells, and the current Personal Emergency Evacuation Plan, or PEEP, roster. Knowing these variables ahead of time eliminates the need to search for information during a crisis, allowing you to transition into the active evacuation phase without delay. Step 1. If you discover a fire, pull the nearest manual alarm station to initiate the evacuation and dial 911 immediately. Do not assume the call has already been made by someone else. If the alarm sounds independently, your first physical step is to put on your high-visibility gear, your warden vest and hat. In a crowded or loud environment, this gear provides a clear focal point for occupants. This visual identification makes it easier for others to recognize who is coordinating the evacuation and which instructions they should follow. Starting with these clear, visible actions provides the organizational structure needed to manage the complex sweeping and assist protocols that follow. This layout demonstrates the methodical sweep path toward the primary exit. Check acoustic blind spots like washrooms and soundproof meeting rooms, as occupants inside may not hear the alarms. Pull doors shut behind you without locking them to compartmentalize the floor against smoke. If your path is blocked by heavy smoke or hot doors, immediately reroute toward the secondary exit. You should not attempt to fight the fire or put yourself at physical risk to complete a sweep. If a section of your zone is inaccessible, move to safety. The sweep is intended to gather intelligence on the building's status and facilitate movement. It is not a mission that should ever compromise your own safety. As you move through the zone, use a loud, clear voice to direct occupants to the nearest safe stairwell. This prevents people from milling or pausing in the hallways. Pay close attention to visitors and contractors. Because they are unfamiliar with the building layout, you will need to provide them with direct guidance to the exit routes. You must also execute the protocols on your PEEP list. This involves following the specific, pre-arranged steps to assist individuals who require physical or mobility accommodations. This tactical layout shows a designated refuge area. Depending on your building's plan, you will either guide PEEP individuals to a safe landing inside a stairwell to await rescue, or use specialized evacuation chairs to move them down the stairs. Ensure occupants know elevators are off-limits. Most automatically shut down and lock during a fire alarm, preventing people from being trapped in shafts. If someone refuses to leave, do not engage in an argument. Mentally note their exact location and continue your sweep of the rest of the zone. Managing the human element requires clear, decisive instructions to keep the evacuation moving at a steady pace. Once you have exited the building, your next task is to secure the entrance. Establish a physical presence at the door to prevent people from turning back. Re-entry is forbidden for any reason. No one is allowed back inside for personal items like phones or keys until the fire department gives an official all-clear. Guide the crowd toward your designated outdoor muster point, ensuring they stay clear of the routes needed by emergency vehicles. At the muster point, conduct a head count. Compare the people present against your occupant roster to identify who is missing. Once the head count is complete, report immediately to your supervisory staff or the first arriving fire crews. This data is critical for the fire department. You must report any missing persons, the locations of PEEP individuals in refuge areas, and the specific area where you observed smoke or fire. Once you are outside, your role shifts from directing occupants to providing essential intelligence to the emergency responders. Following these steps ensures the zone is cleared, the occupants are directed to safety, and the emergency responders have the information they need to act. This procedure protects the lives of the occupants and ensures you fulfill the legal requirements of the fire warden role. To prepare for an actual emergency, download your building's floor plan now. Highlight your zone boundary and physically trace your primary and secondary sweep routes. Your performance during an actual alarm depends on how well you know these routes before an emergency ever occurs.